So what this class is not is a class about your creativity, your passion, your purpose, what gets you up in the morning and why you do what you do. We know you're good at that, and we know you're good at your creativity. The concern is, are you burning out from having less skills in business than you have in your creative passion? None of us have an MBA. None of us really trained in business, or we wouldn't be good at what we do, which is design. I want to talk about how I learned in a long and painful process how to run a successful firm. Hi, I'm Janice Parker. I'm a landscape architect with my own firm that I have had for close to 40 years. We have people that give us their lives that work for us, who are also driven by passion, and we need to take care of them, and we need to take care of them very, very well. So if our business does well, we will be able to pay them well, give them a good life, and all in all, create the kind of environment we'd like to see in the world. 99% of the time, if you're having trouble managing your firm, the problem is you. You have to be accountable, you have to be responsible, you have to follow the same protocols you're asking everyone else to follow, and you have to follow the same procedures. And that is not comfortable for creatives. We hate that. We really want to be free. The problem is we lead by example. Creating procedures and protocols needs to be something that you've clearly thought out long before you introduce it to your staff. You have all of these things require a deep dive and absolute certainty, because once you ask people to follow procedures and protocols, number one, you better be following them yourself. And number two, they need to work, and you can't slack off on them. It's expensive to get the coaching, and it takes time to actually become a knee-jerk reaction to everybody when they get into work. To me, time management is all about prioritizing. Priorities are what keeps the ball moving down the road. What is bringing in revenue? If we don't take care of that and we don't teach our staff to understand where revenue and how revenue is produced, then we're just sunk before we get going. So we use what I call, I've developed this, a goal and control. So it's not a task list, it's not a daily report. We have goal and control. It could be whatever your goal for completion is that week, and the control. So the control is how many hours you need to put into it, and the date that it's going to be finished by. And if you haven't done that, I really want to know why, because we've planned it. So your really only excuse for having not accomplished that is that you're dead. So be careful what your vitals are, and be careful to accomplish them quickly. And put off the other tasks, no matter how pressing they are. Turn off your email reminders. You can even have your email say, I will not be returning emails until 4 p.m. Get your work done. Separate out your tasks from the vital few. The vital few is what is going to bring in revenue to the business. It's not a task. It may be a task, but it's certainly not, I need to return this phone call. If a job is up and running, the vital few is to get another job up and running. Most people who work for small firm owners have no idea about the revenue, how it comes in, where it comes in, what they do that produces revenue. It can be actually indecipherable to people. And that's a very big problem. So you need to be very, very clear about what is making money and what isn't. And you need people to be agreeable to you. They may be compulsively trying to finish a design. You don't need that design right now. What you need is something finished on a project that you're billing on. Picking your battles. You can't be obsessed with details like your project managers are. You need to let some things sit while you move to the bigger issue that keeps your pipeline moving. When something goes wrong on a job, try not to catastrophize. We're not in an emergency room. No one is going to die, even if inside you are screaming bloody murder and want to fire everyone around you, don't express it. Show calm, show the fact that you're going to problem solve it, and coach people to a position where they are comfortable to make mistakes, because if they don't make mistakes, they're never going to be independent workers and actually produce the value that you need in your firm. Delegation is really important to ensure the success of your employee. If you don't give them enough support to succeed in the task that you've given them, they're going to get demoralized. And that's not good for anybody. You're going to get frustrated, they're going to be frustrated, and it doesn't work. You have to be clear who delegates to who, so that you are supporting the people you're delegating to, not criticizing them. I have learned to say, this is a coaching moment when something goes wrong, to see it as an opportunity, not to see it as, oh my God, I've got to make sure this never happens again. We're human. What happened? What went wrong? What would you do differently next time? You use the information that comes back to coach people to seeing the way that you would have handled it. And there is no formula, unfortunately, in the design business. Every problem is unique. Every design solution is unique. Training, 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 training. It's a nonstop profession. People can't learn to design in 8 hours a day. I may ask them to do things that mean on a weekend they have to visit 5 gardens. They have to visit a nursery and learn about 20 new trees. They have to take a course in accounting, because the education they get in school is not enough. An employee handbook. If you don't have one, get one now. You're spelling out all the holidays, spelling out the family leave, spelling everything out, as well as a non-compete clause at the end. All of the basic rules for their behavior at work. And you have to have them sign it yearly and reread it yearly. You may very well run into legal problems. So this is one of the most important ways to make sure you understand what the rules of engagement are. And if you can't afford to hire an HR department, which most of us cannot, there is a online firm called SHRM, S-H-R-M, which is where HR professionals go to get all their information. Checklists, protocols for the work that they're doing, not for how they come in or when they go for lunch. That's all in your employee handbook. How does the work happen? I have a materials checklist for what needs to be in your car if you're going to a site visit. There's a site visit checklist where you're checking off exactly what you see, where, and why. These are legal documents. How many people are on the job? What materials are stored there? What work and scope of work is going on? Nursery visit checklists, where we have transit poles to measure the heights of the trees, and we have laminated numbers so we can stand in front of the tree and take a photograph and we know what tree it was. Do the checklist, attach it to anything you want redline reviewed. You've already done your own redline. That helps, because we're not demoralizing you by telling you what lousy work you just handed in, and you are able to self-correct your work and learn yourself. It is really important to recognize that everything that is in front of you, even if it feels incredibly difficult or challenging, is an opportunity to become stronger, to grow in your skills, and to learn.